My heart is beginning to beat strangely, guys, and the sensation is growing stronger every day. Something is clearly brewing, in my opinion. I simply am unable to determine the precise proportion in this case. Despite the fact that we unloaded, I am aware that the charts appear incredibly bullish. Hold on, what? Although XRP is still fluctuating, take a look at what recently transpired on the USDT dominant chart, which, I believe, we have been monitoring for a few months. And now, gentlemen, what we hope to see has happened after nearly a year. Although it hasn't been verified yet, if you look at the chart right here, you can see that it is there. By the way, I'm going to be the most extreme bull out there if this is true, because $4 implies that XRP will see $4 and change in the upcoming weeks. All well, no more than October. What then just took place? Have any of you noticed anything? Alright folks, these are the steady coin charts. Additionally, when you see this chart inflating, it indicates that institutions, both insider and retail, are trading their cryptocurrency for USDT. However, if you notice that this chart is declining and dumping, it means that individuals are trading their USD or Tether for additional cryptocurrencies, which drives up prices. It is essentially the opposite of Bitcoin, XRP, and other cryptocurrency, according to the crypto charts, guys. All okay? So, on the 5 daily, we have maintained this moving average for 286 days, and now, as you can see, we have dropped below it. This candle will close in roughly 2 days. It would be absolutely absurd if we were to close this bullish. It closed or is still fighting these moving average guys at the moment. Therefore, we shouldn't front run or pre-fire, correct? We should hold off until we have concrete confirmations. However, if this is verified and we close the body candle in this manner, correct? This candle is going to literally dump, as you can see, and it is holding this moving yellow moving average as resistance. This implies that Bitcoin, XRP, ETH, and all other coins will soar to the highest altitudes. The wildest heights, all right. Thus, this has never occurred. Technically speaking, I suppose it did occur within this candle, but take a look. I take it that was a fake out? This moving average was re-examined by the subsequent candle, correct? Therefore, guys, if we could just stay below this moving average going forward, it's time to go. Guys, that is kind of absurd to consider, because you recall, where did this moving average hold Bitcoin? Here, here, here. All right, throughout. You all know this, don't you? Throughout. As a result, it is currently below this moving average, but it will confirm this position below it in 2 days. All right, and if this is confirmed beneath it, then we'll see. What is it called, by the way? The RSI. Guys, the RSI on Bitcoin. Maybe we could just confirm these signals here, but I'm feeling really bullish. A bullish divergence has been produced by the Bitcoin RSI. This pivot was below the RSI, all right? The price is currently staying above this pivot, even if the RSI moved below it. Take a look at it. It's a bullish divergence. In 1 day and 11 hours, it will be confirmed tomorrow evening. It literally confirms a bullish divergence on the weekly time frame tomorrow evening, guys, which tells me that Bitcoin is very strong because normally it kills the divergences. If it were weak, it should have dropped to at least 103, but it didn't. That's how strong it is, and I assume that whoever is in charge of these asset prices wants it to go higher. With this confirmation, I know that in the upcoming weeks Bitcoin will soar higher. How much higher can we go in comparison? It's a query. Assuming that all of these signals are confirmed, is that correct? Well, we're below the moving average men on the 5-day. Well, the price of cryptocurrencies will rise to this level. This chart shows a 15% pump or dump from day 5 to day 6, indicating a pump for Bitcoin. Let's do the math now to see if this 15% pump also grabs Bitcoin. Bitcoin must reach about 134K, correct? Depending on whether Bitcoin pumped or ran alone, correct? It would really pump a little bit more if not all of the quints were pumping at first, right? Then, due to the increased FOMO, all quints would catch up. However, 15% is roughly 130K, guys, which is another new ultimate high, assuming they all pumped together. 30% for XRP. Let's see where 30% takes XRP to from here, as it's a 2x volatility multiplier. Thus, the right minimum 30% of traders take XRP to $4 in that area. Guys, so I believe $4.20 makes sense given the amount of liquidity for XRP right now. However, I don't see any bullish divergences here, so it doesn't matter because Bitcoin will pull it up because it will get extremely strong if all these confirmations come true. Guys, get triggered. Then I believe it's time to depart. I was aiming for 260, but I was also aiming for this level, but it doesn't look like it's attempting to come to pass. Correct. All we have to do is hold. In order for us to know, let me tell you all the precise percentage. Holding 4.33% on the 5 days of the UCC dominant shard, 4.33% is all that is required. If you hold below this level, it should drop to the next moving average, which is the 6th day again. However, that would be a 15% dump, meaning that Bitcoin would be pumped by 15%. Therefore, if these indications are verified by tomorrow, or I suppose by 2 days from now, 2 days and 11 days, as tomorrow is a weekly confirmation, 130-250 Bitcoin might be imminent. The 5 daily confirmation guys will follow on Monday. Well, hold on a second. I'll be able to start pumping in the comp like next week, as well as in the weeks that follow. Whoa, correct? I am aware that many of the folks here are bearish, but let's have a look at this. Now, take a look at Precision Trader 3, which is from Precision Trader. Good morning. I'm still trying to find the Bitcoin wave individuals who went from 118K to 114K. Surely that would make sense. That would be reasonable, but once more, we must maintain current XRP levels. That's simply a retracement, isn't it? A backtracking. And if it can keep the guys in this area at this level, correct? I think it's going to work here. However, the true query is whether XRP, do UCT domination and Bitcoin, maintain this levels. The true question is this. We'll find out in the next few days, I suppose. But listen, that was a fake out, isn't it? It occurred here once. Therefore, we definitely don't want that to happen again. This also appears to be consolidation. I thought that was consolidation. Discarded. What is consolidation? Keeps up the trend. Empty. Take a look at that. Perfect. Correct. After that, we'll most likely see another pump come back up. Indeed, I am not sure. The situation seemed to be out of control. What's funny now is that the two folks for Bitcoin are worldwide, right? If Bitcoin and world 2 may be correlated, additionally, a divergence is taking place. Let's look at the candles on the Bitcoin chart. Global MEM2 is the next line chart. Look at what it has accomplished. There used to be a catch-up here if we followed global M2, right? Either liquidity is lying, but it never lies since, you know. Liquidity is always honest, don't you? Bitcoin is lying if liquidity is flooding in and an asset, like it, isn't pumping. Since this indicates that it is being manipulated lower, and stocks are also rising. You're telling me that XRP will pump to $4 and change in a short while. Bitcoin 230-250K, perhaps in this same spot? It may even slightly exceed it. You understand what it means, don't you? That stockholders are posting so many screenshots of their profits and losses today? Will they? Is the stock market gradually reaching its peak because everyone is posting absurdly high earnings and numbers? And if it's true, the money will shift into cryptocurrencies if the stock market is peaking and cryptocurrencies are trailing stocks, correct? Which is going to inflate cryptocurrency. Additionally, pumping cryptocurrency doesn't cost a lot of money.